Reese's peanut butter cups are the greatest, but let me play devil's advocate here. Let's see. So, no, that's a good thing. That's definitely not a problem. Reese's, you did it. You stumped this charming devil.
Meet the next generation of podcast stars with SiriusXM's Listen Next program, presented by State Farm. As part of their mission to help voices be heard, State Farm teamed up with SiriusXM to uplift diverse and emerging creators. Tune in to Stars and Stars with Issa, as host Issa Nakazawa dives into birth charts of her celeb guests. This is just the start of a new wave of podcasting. Visit statefarm.com to find out how we can help prepare for your future. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
What's up, y'all? It's Brother Ali in the mix with Tim Einekel on The Library, rapstation.com. Keep it right here.
Luxury vehicle, not a drop of white in it. Personal license plate, so they know it ain't rented. Cruising by the cruiser, so they got to see who in it. A young black male with the intent to sell. Happy through the speakers, bump a little bit for real. Go easy on the gas, cause these cops now in jail. 5 miles later, there's another on the trail. A nigga sweating bullets like he moving by the scale. Lights flash, and life does too. Make a decision with us what you supposed to do when the law is.
He started his career as a member of the legendary hip-hop group Little Brother, and as a solo artist, North Carolina MC Rapper Big Pooh has continued to perfect his craft. He's set to release with Apollo Ground his debut EP called Words Paint Pictures on March 24th, 2015. Rapper Big Pooh, welcome to the library with Tim Einekel on rapstation.com.
Thanks for having me.
Cool, man. As mentioned, you're set to release your debut EP, Words Paint Pictures, for Mello Music Group on March 24th. The EP contains 7 songs and 2 remixes, entirely produced by Apollo Brown. The first single is called Stop, where you tell a story of racist police stop while utilizing Oscar Grant, Mike Brown, and those who've been killed by police brutality. When did this idea for the record come to you?
It actually came to me after being stopped. That's the actual true story. That was the last track recorded for the EP. I felt I was about done. I definitely had wanted to add one more song. I just didn't know what at the time, and I was just out taking the ride, and I ended up getting stopped. And I just felt, with everything that was going on, that this was the perfect opportunity to not only, discuss those who have been killed at the hands of police and vigilantes, but also just to, put myself in the situation, talk about my personal situation. So, like I said, I just thought it was the perfect time for that. And so I just decided to do it. Everybody gets lucky, and I know the feeling.
Why, when I'm stuck, I wanna go somewhere so far away from here. But I don't think you hear. Since it was such a personal song, are personal songs like this hard songs to write, or because the subject matter is so close to home, or are they easy to write?
Kind of both. It's like, it's not hard from the aspect of wanting to do it, but it can get tricky when trying to make sure you don't overdo it and telling your story, and just, finding the right words and making sure you put it together the right way. I think those are tricky parts about it, but, as far as, going down to express myself, that's never really been a tough thing to do.
Obviously, Stop talks a lot about, what's going on today. Like the other day we saw a video, I don't know if you saw the video of the homeless man getting killed by LAPD. That said, why do you think it seems that rapping about social issues are heard a lot less today on the radio than they have been in the past? And do you think labeling a track such as Stop conscious hurts or helps the power of the track?
I think that they don't, talk about these types of issues because it's only affecting, a certain group of people. Until it affects everyone, no one really talks about it. You know what I'm saying? So if it was start being mass, killings of other races by the police, then yeah, you bet it's gonna be some change in it, and you bet you're gonna hear about it more often. But as far as me, labeling the record stop, like I didn't really care about, who was gonna like it, who wasn't gonna like it, who was gonna play it, who wasn't gonna play it. This is my art. This is something that I felt needed to be said by me, so I was gonna make sure I said it, and whoever gravitated to it was gonna gravitate to it. Obviously I knew it was gonna be some people who probably wouldn't understand. It was gonna be some people who probably wouldn't like the idea that I did a song like this, and kind of eulogize them different black males. But hey, everybody ain't gonna like everything I do. So I felt, like I said, I felt it was, time for me to say something, and it was my place to say something.
You obviously, ever since I heard you on Little Brother, but up until now, you obviously are someone that thinks hard about what the lyrics they are putting down on the paper, and you've obviously you're making a career out of this. I want to transition to a video that you've been. I know it's been on your Facebook feed for a while, and actually you put it up today again. And Mello Music has been putting up the augmentation video that has been produced by Apollo Brown. You've said about the video that it's about the song. It's about, quote, destroying the idea that a lot of young cats have about a career in hip hop and rap. Do you think rap music has become a victim of its own commercial success, meaning that young cats see kind of a formula and they just want to be kind of one-hit wonders rather than learning about the culture and kind of making it more of a career for themselves?
Definitely, man. Like the thing about it is, and I compare it to, I don't want to compare it to anything, but the thing about it is when you only show a certain side, when you only show one facet of something, a lot of impressionable people believe that's all there is. So if all you show on our quote-unquote superstars, the Jay-Z, the Kanye, the Drake, the Lil Wayne, everybody that doesn't know believes that you're only successful if you reach that level. That's what they believe success is. They don't realize that those are exceptions. Those aren't the rule. Those are exceptions. Those aren't the standard. And that was the whole thing with augmentation. Like, we're presented with exceptions and are led to believe that those are standards when those aren't standards. Like, I'm a successful artist, but to a lot of people, I'm not, because I'm not a quote-unquote superstar. And it's like, you're not doing it like this guy, so you're not that successful, and that's false. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's kind of what it is. It's like, when I go talk to different schools and talk to different young cats, like, that's the first thing I stress. Like, do you just want to have a hit and be famous, or do you want to build a career? Because there's a difference. And then also what I try to express to them is, these cats that may seem like they appeared overnight, they're not overnight success stories. Overnight success stories are here today and gone tomorrow. People who end up lasting the test of time, it took them 5, 6, 7, 8 years, 2, 3 situations before they became who you know them as today. And those are just things I try to, explain to a lot of, young cats that I talk to when I go talk in these schools. And, just something, like I said, that once again, is something that I wanted to put into my music. And it's different when you're hearing it through art as opposed to when you're just hearing it through speech. So I wanted to put it in the art, and hopefully people, got the message I was trying to say.
I want to kind of go a little, back into your career when you were with Little Brother. In September 2005, you guys released a great album, your second album, The Minstrel Show, which compared rap music at the time to minstrel shows of late 19th century. Let's fast forward to the present day. Do you still think this is the case with rap music? Has it changed at all? If it has, how so? If it hasn't, how has it changed?
It's definitely changed some. I couldn't say it hasn't changed at all. It's changed some. I mean, you still have people playing characters, not really playing themselves, but I don't think it's as exaggerated now as it was then. You have a whole lot of young kids that came up, like a Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, even a Drake, a Big Sean, all these different, Wale, all these different cats that came up listening to a Little Brother and, listening to an early Kanye and realizing that it was okay to be yourself. And that's what they did, and that's how they, go about their music. So, you still have those playing characters, but you do have a generation of young cats that came up and realized it was okay to be who they were, and that's who they being. And that didn't stop them from becoming stars, being who they were. So, like I said, I definitely believe it's still present, but it's definitely not as prevalent today as it was back in 2005.
In September of this year, the album is going to be it will turn 10 years old. Looking back, do you think there's anything you would have wanted to change about the album? And how much did BET not playing the video for Loving It help or hurt the album?
I think the only thing I definitely would have changed about the album was, how we presented it. Would have done a better job of presenting the album, because a lot of people, were the title alone kind of threw them off. So, presenting the album would have been, probably the only thing I would have changed about the album. And then, BET not playing it, I don't think it necessarily put a big dent in it. I mean, it didn't help any. And it was disappointing that they didn't play the video. But over time, it was like they insulted their audience more than they insulted us by not playing it. They said their audience wasn't intelligent enough to get the point of that video. So, at that point, then we just see what BET has become today anyway. So it's like I said, I don't think it had a major role in the success or failure of the album, but it was more of a thing of disappointment than anything.
We're speaking with rapper Big Pooh. Big Pooh, I wanna ask you two more questions about your album Sleepers, but I want to end with talking about the track "Stop" from your new EP, Words Paint Pictures.
Okay.
In I Don't Care off Sleepers, you spit, "You can't bootleg the album, I don't care." Does bootlegging really not bother you? And also, with illegal downloading seeming to be the norm, how does an artist set himself up or herself up to make money in this business?
At the end of the day, it's like, do you want people to bootleg your album or illegally download your album? Nah, you don't at all. But you can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? It now is like music isn't appreciated by the masses to the point that they feel that you should be compensated for. And like I say, you can't stop people from illegally downloading your music, but of course you would prefer for them to pay for the music. You put in the time, you put in the effort, you put in the money, you put in the resources, and you would like to be compensated for that, for sharing a piece of your soul. Has it affected the industry? Yes, but I think it affected the industry because to the point it has, because the industry tried to get over on the consumer so much, like with outrageous prices, with even artists trying to get over on consumers putting out half-ass products, just giving them a good 1 or 2 songs, and then you go spend that money on the CD, and then you hear the rest of the CD, and it sounds like they didn't put any effort into it, right? So all of that takes effect into where we are today. I'm just a person who I know that, I have to give the listener or the fan something other than just dope music. That's why I try to give them dope visuals. That's why I try to give them, something that goes along with, the album. So it's like, it's special to go buy this Rapper Big Pooh album for the cover alone. Like, you want a physical piece of that. It's special to go do that. So, and then hopefully, you hope that they appreciate what you've done enough to want to go purchase that album. And so like I said, man, it's just one of them things where, people illegally download music or they get it for free or however have you. That's going to happen. You just hope that your true fans are going to go out and support what you're doing. And support doesn't mean, ooh, I got it and I listened to it. Support me, I paid for it to listen to it. So, and that's all it is, man. Like I said, you just hope your true fans, your core fans are going to go out and put their money where their mouth is.
In the song "Every Block" featuring Fonte off of Sleepers, you address writer's block and kind of what happened in the industry and your personal pressures once you've signed your first contract or written your first record. As you've gained more experience in this art, do you battle more or less with writer's block, and how do you deal with it? And then what's your ideal writing environment?
I always had writer's block come and go. It's a thing that, I know is coming every once in a while. And I know part of that for me is because I definitely have my hand a lot into the business side of my career. So, it's impossible to do both at a high level at the same time. So I know when I step away to do business things for a while, when I come back to try to write, even though I may have stuff I want to write about or ideas written down, they might not always come. I might not always be inspired at the moment. But you have times where if you're inspired or not, you gotta write something inspirational, like deadlines depend on it. So I definitely developed a few different ways for me to really, compensate for writer's block. And one of the things that helps me out a lot now is I like writing with distraction. So I like writing, I like when people in the room having conversations don't have to necessarily be talking to me. I can jump in and out, like having the TV on, a sports center or a game or a movie. You know what I'm saying? Just something. I just need that distraction for me, because what that distraction do is it takes pressure off of me, but it also focuses me at the same time. So that's one of the things that I've definitely learned to do. And then I learned to walk away for a little bit, and come back to it. So, I write all different type of ways. I don't have a set way to write, and I think that's helped me as I've developed more as an artist and have been able to overcome writer's block in certain situations. If I'm just sitting at home, I really don't care. Like, I can just walk away and come back to it when I'm sitting at home. But
we're speaking with rapper Big Pooh, his new EP, Words Paint Pictures. Big Pooh, I want to go back to the first single, Stop. In the track you spit, quote, let off with a warning, consider myself blessed. Only if you're alive, you can understand the stress. I kind of felt that was a way of that this was an opportunity I heard for you to kind of bring people that don't know into what's happening regarding police brutality, and especially in the black community. So what is the stress you're referring to here?
The stress I'm referring to is when you get stopped. Well, as a black male, we always it's always, for most black males, been a natural reaction to tense up when you notice a police cruiser was behind you. You can have everything can be right about your registration. You can be a person who never got in trouble in your life. Car clean, nothing in it, nobody carrying any contraband, any of that. And you still tense up when you see a police cruiser ride behind you, because there's always a chance they're going to stop you for driving while black, is what we call it. So, that line that I was, that you quoted was me saying, I got stopped. I actually ran into a pretty cool policeman who did his job, but didn't overdo his job, didn't abuse his job, but he still did his job. And I was blessed as a black man to actually, encounter a police officer who was doing real good police work that day. Because a lot of times we run into police officers who don't do good police work. They would have turned a situation, something minute as, minor traffic violation, such as running a red light, turning right on the red light when the sign says don't, into something more drastic. And that could have led to me getting arrested or, getting injured or getting killed. So that's what that line was referring to. And most people don't, like I said, only a few people alive can understand that. And that was for the black males that's been stopped and been able to go, walk away or drive away unscathed. Those the few that can understand, but it's too many, especially now, that don't get the opportunity to walk or drive away because they're being murdered in cold blood. So that's what that line represented.
Rapper Big Pooh, new EP, Words Paint Pictures from Mello Music Group, entirely produced by Apollo Brown. Rapper Big Pooh, thank you so much for joining me on The Library with Tim Heinekel on rapstation.com.
Man, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Let off with a warning, consider myself blessed. Only a few alive can understand that stress.
And they say sometimes that everybody gets lucky. And I know the feeling. Why, when I'm stuck, I wanna go somewhere so far away from here.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are the greatest, but let me play devil's advocate here. Let's see. So, no, that's a good thing. That's definitely not a problem. Reese's, you did it. You stumped this charming devil.
Meet the next generation of podcast stars with SiriusXM's Listen Next program, presented by State Farm. As part of their mission to help voices be heard, State Farm teamed up with SiriusXM to uplift diverse and emerging creators. Tune in to Stars and Stars with Issa, as host Issa Nakazawa dives into birth charts of her celeb guests. This is just the start of a new wave of podcasting. Visit statefarm.com to find out how we can help prepare for your future. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.